Hey guys, today I am sitting in front of my Kent mango tree. On this branch, I have a graft of Maha Chinook and also turpentine mango. But this branch is kind of an odd branch, and what I'm going to try to do is create a new tree here. So I'm going to use a technique called air layering. I'm going to show you guys from start to finish how I air layer a tree. And basically all I'm going to do is try to create roots here so I can cut this tree at this point here and I can plant this and I will have another separate tree. And this tree will be part Kent, part turpentine, and part Maha Chinook. So I'll have three varieties of mangoes growing off this particular tree. So, mosquitoes, can't stand them. So basically I have a grafting knife, rooting hormone, twine, a Ziploc bag, got my shears that I always have, and I've got some peat moss. So the first step, I'm going to fill this bag with peat moss. And I want to sort of have this bag just loaded. So I'm going to fill the whole thing. Now this peat moss has already been soaked, so it's very moist, so I don't have to add water. A lot of times when I put the peat moss in, I will actually wet it, but this is really moist. It's already been soaked. So I'm filling this bag up to the brim here. See that? Okay. Got it pretty full. Make sure I don't break the zipper on this thing. Oh. You don't overfill it. Sometimes these zippers will malfunction. All right, there we go. We got it zipped up, nice and full. So now I'm going to find a spot on this tree here. And I actually just cut a limb off here. So I kind of think that I kind of want to be around this limb because it seems like it's a bit of a growth center here. So I'm going to try and cut that just a little closer to the tree. And the tree might try to regenerate from there. So I'm going to cut basically a ring around the tree here. Got a mosquito that is annoying as heck. I might put this hood up here. Sorry guys. All right. I'm going to cut a little ring around here. And I'm going to cut a second ring about this far down. And this is basically the area that I want to remove the bark and the cambium from. The cambium, just that layer underneath the bark. So I'm going to go with the knife. And basically I'm just scraping away the bark from one line to the next line. You want to make sure all that green is gone. You want to get deep enough. The mistake that I've made in the past is not going deep enough. So don't be shy. I like it when there's a lot of like little nodes or eyes in the area that I'm doing. And after I'm done, I'm going to show you guys a couple of the trees that I have cloned by this technique, by air layering. There we go. I got that mosquito. All right. Let's take this off because it is pretty hot. We're here in Florida, Central Florida, just outside of Orlando. And this was actually my first mango tree. Mango trees are very resilient. This tree actually broke right down to the stump in one of the storms and it bounced back. It's probably been about 3 years since it was just a nub and it produces a lot of mangoes. They are very hardy trees and it's probably my favorite tree. I have about 20 different varieties of mangoes here, at least. I have one tree that's got about 12, at least 12 different varieties of mangoes on it. So now once I've removed all of that, I'm gonna scrape it up a little bit and just try to get it rough. You want the tree to create almost like an immune response, or you want the tree just active. You want the tree to feel like it's got to do some work here. So now I've got that done. I got enough rooting hormone left here. Gonna have to get another container of this soon. This is just rooting hormone. I think this is Fast Root. You can get it on Amazon. It's nothing that's difficult to get. And you want to really go for it. I'm going to use all this left here. Just try to get as much on as possible. Now, the trees, the bark is going to be a little slimy to begin with, so it kind of sticks to it pretty good. Oh boy, there goes that mosquito again. All up in my ear. I can't stand mosquitoes. I'd rather get stung by a bee, which happened to me. I got stung in the face by my bees. I have a beehive. A bee stung me in my face the other day. But all right, enough of that. So one of the things you want to do is pre-cut your rope, because you're going to see that it's difficult to cut the rope when you're trying to hold a half-cut plastic bag onto a branch. So let's see. I gotta sharpen this knife. There we go. I'm gonna cut 2 pieces. Okay. So now I'm gonna take my Ziploc bag with the soil in it. Oh boy. And this one, the lid, the zip tie just seems to want to break open, but hopefully it'll stay closed for me. And I'm gonna cut right down the middle of this bag. Oh, I'm gonna cut down the middle of this bag and make a slit here. And now I've got 2 halves of a bag. I'm basically gonna put this 2 halves of a bag over this, and that is my air layer there. So now I'm gonna take my rope, and that's why you pre-cut it, because it's hard to do this if you haven't pre-cut it. And this bag wants to open, so I'm probably gonna have to put some extra ties on there to keep this thing tight. Normally I would be standing up for this, trying to give you guys the best possible view of what I'm doing. Here we go. So I've got the first wrap on there. So once we get that on there, it's pretty secure. Just tie that off. And then I'm gonna, oh shoot, that's not good. All right. Twine just broke there, but I've got a second piece, which is good. I'm gonna wrap this around the lower portion. Wrap it around the upper portion. And we're gonna tie that off. And that's basically it. I'm gonna secure this a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit more rope on this here. I'm gonna get a long piece so I can make a lot of wraps. You just want that to be nice and tight around the area that you've cut. I'm gonna leave this for probably about 3 months. So probably once it starts to get a little chilly, it's probably, I don't know, maybe like, what are we in, September? Hey, probably November, I'm gonna probably wanna check this and see if anything's growing in here, see if there's any roots growing. Sometimes people will put like tin foil or something, or aluminum foil over this just so that there's no light getting in, but there's generally not going to be any light getting in through the soil anyways. It's the darkness that sort of stimulates the root growth too. So I think that's going to do it. All right, got that secure. So that's basically it. Now I'm going to take you over and show you just a couple of the successful air layers that I've done, but that's what it looks like. That's the tree. There's the whole tree. And this is the branch. Here is my turpentine graft. And this is a graft from last year. This is my Maha Chinook, both of those branches there. It actually produced some mangoes this year, but they dropped off early. So hopefully next year I'll get some Maha Chinooks. I'm gonna take you over here. This is an air layer that I did successfully. This is a lychee tree, and I air layered and I cut this branch off and put it in here. I can show you where the branch was cut from maybe. If I can remember where it was. I think it was from that point right there. That seems to be, oh no, actually, it was right here. That was the branch that was cut off. That was air layered. I'm doing an air layer on this little skinny branch here too because it's got no point. So I figured instead of just cutting it off, maybe I'll make a little tree. And so basically that's it. You know, that's how I air layer. For more tips, just follow me, like, subscribe, and I'll be back. All right, see you guys. Bye.